word gets around, we gotta keep it tight.
We're gonna keep it locked and loaded, tight. Keep it together. Keep our shit together on this podcast because you never know who's listening.
We used to be able to gab about anything and everything, but now too many people
No
know.
more. No more. You never know who's listening, and that used to be a good thing when we would say, like,
You never know.
crowdsource advice
We gotta ask for things because you never know who could be listening. Now we gotta be like, we gotta shut our mouths because you
because you
never
never
know
know
who's gonna
who's
be
listening.
listening. All right, let's get into it this week because what a weekend.
What a weekend.
What a
It was
weekend.
the Australian Grand Prix never fails to provide entertainment.
And you know what? I should have learned this lesson a very long time ago. However, there was one probably 2 years ago that was so boring that I fell asleep during it. And since then, I've
Mhm.
just been like, meh, I don't really need to watch. I'll catch
Yeah.
the replay. As people may have seen on Instagram, I had texted my mom, I'm not staying up because I'm not watching Max win another race. Surprise, surprise. I ate those words
You ate those
really
words.
quickly.
And you were on your witch energy for that because I don't think that that was a bad thing.
It was not a bad
You
thing.
willed it into existence.
I
You
did.
just didn't know
I
that
just
that's
was
what you were
like
doing.
so over it. I was like, "Ugh, I'm not watching Max win another race." And in my mind, I was like, can you imagine if he didn't? And guess what? It happened. That's eclipse season for you. That's
Yeah.
eclipse season, okay? Strong energy everywhere.
I mean, I just feel like we should have known
We should have.
because Australia just it started out
With a bang,
with a
literally.
bang, literally. So practice in
FP1.
practice, Alex Albon totaled his car, just
Yep.
absolutely ripped it to shreds, destroyed it. And Williams, the shall we say lower middle class
hmm
um, team on the grid, did not have another car available, and they can't afford to have one. They didn't have one there, so they're like, we legitimately only have one car for the weekend. So they made a
Executive
very
decision.
controversial decision to let Alex drive Logan's car instead of having Logan just be their only car in the race. Which I understand the logic of because they were like, we really need a point, and so we have to basically take our one car and decide
hmm
which driver is going to give us the best chance of scoring a point.
Did
They didn't do
Alex
it.
I was gonna say, did Alex even score a point? I don't think
No,
he did.
I think
I
he
would
came
be
in technically I think he came in technically 12th, but because of, I think,
Alonso's
Alonso's
penalty.
penalty, he came in 11th, unless I'm mistaken, and no, I think that's true because I think there was only supposed to be 1 Haas with points, but then with the penalty, they had 2.
No, because even without the penalty, they were already ninth and 10th.
Oh, were they? Okay,
Mhm.
then he must have always been 11th.
Let's see. Yeah.
I love how confident
He took
we both are sometimes. We're just being like, "Yeah, I mean, that's, like, what happened." And we're like, "Actually, no.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen.
so
Prove
Alex
that."
did come in 11th, which if I was Logan,
I'd be pissed.
I would be so mad. I would be so mad at the fact that like because one, neither of them had points on the board at all
Yeah, so it wasn't
for the
like
past 2
Alex is,
races.
like, so much better, and they're
Yeah.
consistently getting points, so they're, like, obviously our consistent point scorer is getting
The car.
the
That would
car.
make sense, right? Like, if we think about it, if it were Red Bull and Max crashed his car, they'd be like, Checo, get the fuck out. Max is taking your car. Makes
Immediately.
sense, right? Like, makes sense. But in the case for Williams, who has 0 points, it's only the third race of the season. They are not volleying for any real spot in the top three. And then to have him not even score any points,
Yeah.
I would commit crimes. I would commit crimes for sure. And I
Yeah.
salute Logan for sitting still and looking pretty because I would be like, what's in it for me?
Yeah. Be like,
Like,
okay, beat me
what
up.
did they give him? This is carrying over the conversation from last weekend about what George wants. What does Logan want out of this? Especially now, because I think he has some leverage to be like, he didn't even fucking score a point, and you took that away from me.
Well, you know what probably happened? Someone Freaky Friday'd with Logan this
Or
week.
Alex. They freaky ride with Alex, and that's why he crashed the car.
But I think they Freaky Friday with Logan, and Logan's probably like, actually, he can have my seat. I'll be a team player. I'll take one for the team.
I'll
I guess I won't
actually.
race this week. And just
Okay.
remember that.
Which one of you Freaky Friday with Logan? Raise your
Raise
hand.
your hand, show
Speak
yourself.
up.
Will the real Logan Sargeant please stand up?
Please raise your
We're
hand if
gonna
it
have a
was you.
problem here.
Okay, let's watch next race to see if Logan still races. If he doesn't race again, we know
We know
there
there's a
has been
Freaky
a body
Friday,
swap.
and we need to contact whoever is in Logan's body and be like, okay, what do we need to do to get you to swap back? Like, what lessons do you need to learn? What lessons need to be learned in order for you to swap back? Like, do you know Logan? Did you know him beforehand? So,
Mhm.
like, are you his brother? Do you guys need to solve an issue to get between yourselves? Like, what needs to happen?
Yeah.
We need to
Um,
figure it out.
we'll get to the bottom of the case. I
We
know that
will.
to be
I know that.
true. I know that to be true. But yeah, it looked like Logan was a pretty good sport all weekend. It was funny
Mhm.
because they asked Max about it.
And Max was like, mm-mm.
And Max was like, if that happened to me, I would flatten my car and no one would be driving on my team. And I was like, you know what? He's real for that though. Like
He
he's
said,
so real for that.
like, honestly, mood.
He's like, if I can't race, then nobody's racing.
That's what George said. George said, but George was being a real team player, and he was like, if Lewis can't race, I can't race either.
He said, I'll go out with my teammate solidarity.
Yeah, and in an incredible turn of events in this race, I felt like I was watching like 2021 F1.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts. We are just sitting there, we're watching. I also did not stay up for this race, but I woke up. Nick woke me up in the morning and we watched it on repeat. I just like left
Mm-hmm.
my phone um
Same. I
on
avoided
my bed
all
and I was like,
conversations.
no, no, just say no. And you're watching the race, and what is it? 4 laps in. First of all, second lap, Carlos is like, what if I actually just overtook Max right now? And everyone was like, what's happening? Oh my God. Like, crazy fan noise, the crowd noises.
The
Everyone's
crowd goes
doing it.
wild. Ah!
Like jazz hands, jazz hands. Carlos is doing it. Carlos is doing what's never been done before. It's a once in a lifetime moment, people. And that, if that wasn't crazy enough, almost immediately after, Max is on fire, literally. And he's like,
Well, that took away from the moment from Carlos because
I know.
obviously there were issues with Max. But
Well,
for a
Checo
brief.
has come out to say that he thinks that even if Max stayed in the race, Carlos, like the Ferrari still would have won. He
Mm,
was like, we didn't have it this weekend, and like our
wow.
car just wasn't there.
I guess we'll never know.
But Max is like Lightning McQueen hobbling himself, trying to get to the pit lane. He's on fire. His brakes are exploding. I was like, this is wild. This has never happened in years. And then all of a sudden we hear Lewis say, I've got brake failure. I've got engine
Engine failure,
failure.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, no way. So Lewis is out. Then it's anybody's game.
Yeah, it really
I was
is.
like, anything can literally happen right now. So
We
Carlos is
all
in
we all
front.
got our wish. We all got our collective wish
Yeah,
where we said, what would a race look like
if
if
Max
Max
wasn't in
wasn't
it.
racing? And we got to
Like,
see it.
and it was great. And I was happy with it. Carlos is leading. Charles is trying for the undercut. Lando and Oscar are up there. It's a Ferrari McLaren battle. It's an epic battle for the ages.
It was the
All
ending
right.
was it was close. It felt like in going into the last two laps it could have been anyone's game.
Charles is trying to undercut everyone. Lando just misses it. Charles gets out just in time. It was like, I was like, I was gasping. I was audibly gasping throughout this race, and I don't think I've done that once in like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have not been shocked.
No gasps have been gusped.
No, not a nary a gasp to be seen. And I was gasping. So if we had to write a letterboxed review of the Australian Grand Prix, it would literally just be like, I gasped for the first time in a year.
Asterisk, gasp, asterisk.
Yeah. Like, it was so good. And then we're on the final lap. Nick called it. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you know what?" He's like, "George is trying so hard to hold on to his position right now, and like, or like trying so hard to pass Alonso. I bet you he just puts it in the wall because he's trying too hard." Literally, not 10 seconds later, George is in the wall.
Did Nick just see that and he was pretending to
That's what
be
I said. I was
psychic?
like, "Did you look on Twitter?" And he was like, "No, I didn't." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see." We were zero cell phone policy, he says.
It was funny because I was watching and Carly came out and she goes, and it was kind of getting to the end and she goes, "When is it? What's going on?" And I was like, "Wait." I was like, "What's do you mean Carlos isn't gonna win?" Because he was in the front. Because I was like, "Oh, Carly maybe knows." And she goes, "No, not that." And then like 30 seconds later, George hits the wall and she goes, "I was wondering when that was gonna happen." And so I was like, "Okay, so you had seen
You
kind of what was
knew.
going on." And she's like, "I can't believe it happened the last lap." And I was like, "Yeah, very
It's
crazy."
so
And then
classic George, though. It is so
people were
classic
like
George.
really upset about the fact that it wasn't a red flag. And it was kind of like, you know what? They would have had to go around him anyway to get back to the pits.
It was
They were
literally the
finishing
lap.
that lap no
Yeah,
matter what. Like it was the
yeah,
end. There was no reason for them to draw it out and then do a full restart. Like, be
yeah,
so fucking for real.
yeah. For once, I agreed with the FIA's decision.
Literally.
For
There
once.
it was not like
Abu Dhabi 21.
yeah, that's not what it was.
No.
Okay. And so like we need to just settle down.
Yeah. So George is fucking in the wall. Final lap. Um,
Alonso did get a penalty though for
he
causing
did
that crash.
for I don't think it was causing the crash. It was like potentially dangerous driving
Mm.
because I think he might have been going a little bit slow or something, or like weaving a little bit. So I don't think it was like necessarily causing the crash, but his driving could have influenced George's driving,
Mm.
which could have led to it. Is what I read at least. But yeah, it was crazy. I felt like there was such good racing happening, even for other positions. And you had the two Haas's that were like going for the points. You had Alex that was like, he was desperate to get a point. Didn't happen, but he was desperate. You had Yuki absolutely flying. Yuki was doing so good.
Yuki was
Again,
crushing.
wait, again, Steak with the horrible pit stops.
I know. They were like, "Oh, there's Bottas with the law," and I said, "Not again." I said,
Literally not
"Not again."
again. And then they did it to Zhou,
This
and
is
I
their
was like, "You guys
legacy.
have to get it together."
Like,
And then
please.
they go, "Oh, and that's Sauber, soon to become Audi." And I was like, "Carlos, no. I can't."
Okay, well, hopefully they like figure it out
Yeah, I
by
hopefully
the
Audi
time.
they were also like the commentators were saying, hopefully, Audi comes in and it's like a Mercedes
Yeah,
takeover where they come with all like the
yeah,
money and it
yeah.
kind of follows that path. But
Fingers
my
crossed.
God, they need to get it together.
So, like, yeah, it's so embarrassing and it's tough to watch.
It's just like, this is
It's
literally your one job. Like, you're a pit crew member.
but
Your
again,
job is
it's
pit
not
stop. Your Ken
not
job is pit stop, and you can't do it.
no, but again, it's not necessarily the pit crew's fault. It's the nuts. Remember, you were laughing
Yes,
about
the
these
nut.
nuts. It's
He's
the
not.
nuts keep spinning like they're getting stuck. So it's the nuts problem. So they got to
Big
figure
nut.
out.
Big nut has some questions.
They got to figure out who has a vendetta against them and who's sending them faulty nuts because that's the problem.
Mr. Peanut needs to release a statement. Said if you want good, reliable nuts, you come to Mr. Peanut.
A great
Brand
opportunity
marketing.
for them to do some sort of sponsorship collab.
I'm telling you, I'm always thinking about it. Um, there are other fun things I want to talk about from the weekend. First of all, Zac Efron was there.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick, we're watching it, and Nick goes, "Oh, yeah, Zac Efron, because he's Australian." And I was like, "He's not Australian." He's like, "No, but he lives in Australia."
He does.
And we had a whole back and forth where I was like, "Do you think that Zac Efron's Australian?" And he was like, "No, I know he's not Australian, but he has that whole show about why he lives in Australia and just being Australian." And we had this whole back
He's
and forth
like
about
Valtteri Bottas.
it.
He's
That's
just
what Nick said. He was like, "He's like Bottas. Bottas is not Australian, but like he is Australian." And I was like, "Okay, I get it."
Nick and I are always on the same wavelength.
Always. But Zach is looking more normal
I
these
know.
days. His jaw is slimming back out a little bit.
Yeah, it's not looking as scary.
I'm wondering, so obviously he said that he broke his jaw and he got it wired shut, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why it looked the way it did. But I'm still not subscribing to that, and I
No, me
still think
either.
he got filler or
Yeah.
like jaw reconstruction, and I feel like he was bullied into taking it out. I
Good.
think that he was finally bullied into taking it out because it's been looking a little bit slimmer.
Or he's like grown into it. Like maybe it was
Or
just
maybe,
not
yeah,
proportional to like the rest of his body.
yeah.
Maybe we've just gotten used to it.
Also true.
Maybe that's the case, but
See, but
yeah,
I think that it was at its worst when he was filming that wrestling movie.
the Iron Claw, yeah.
So I feel like maybe it had to do with that. Like,
Yeah.
like when Christian Bale like
It's
gains
method.
400
Yeah.
pounds
Yeah.
or something. Like I think he was like, I gotta look like this guy, and like really did something.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe it was like dissolvable filler, you know what I
Mm,
mean? So it was like there for a while, but then like eventually it goes away, like dissolvable lip filler.
yeah. I don't know
So it
how
just
that
like
works.
I don't really either, but I think it just
We're
dissolves.
just we're just natural
I'm just
beauties.
naturally
No work done whatsoever.
my jaw is naturally this puffy. I don't need filler.
Zach
I've got
wishes he could
natural
have.
filler right there.
Yeah, but no, I loved that he was there. Love the crossover. I feel
Oh,
like it feels like we should have seen him at the Australian Grand Prix before. Like it feels like
yeah,
natural that he would be there for some reason. I don't know why. Just
yeah.
feels like
It
a
feels
likely
right.
place for Zac Efron to be. I feel like,
I agree with that.
That's what
Having no
Dumas would say.
context
Yeah.
and no knowledge if he actually likes racing,
No.
it does feel like a likely place for
This
him to
feels
be.
like somewhere then you'd be like, yeah, of course Zac Efron. He's always here.
Yeah, Zach, the number one racing fan. Duh.
Maybe he's getting into the zone because maybe he is also doing method acting and he will portray. Okay, question for you. If Zach had to play one of the drivers on the grid currently, who do you think he could do best?
Carlos.
Okay.
Great bodies, both of them. Great chests.
Fantastic.
Great chests. Zach has nice hair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know he's got the bone structure, and he'll figure it out. I feel like either Carlos or no, I think it's just Carlos.
I think Carlos. I think he could also maybe do Alonso.
I was on the fence about saying Alonso.
I feel like their build is kind of similar. Like I feel, and Zach's not young. Zach's in his mid 30s.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because if he was younger, I would say Lando, but he's too old to be Lando now.
He's too ripped to be Lando.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lando's like baby ripped. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
like you just have that. Like that's just
Yeah.
like your body. That's not
Because
like
you
you going
have
to the gym.
no
You
fat on
just have
you. So
no
you,
fat
yeah.
and you like do work out some, so your muscles are just there. You're not like going to the gym hard to gain
Yeah.
muscle. Like
Yeah.
they're just there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Whereas Carlos, on the other hand, we've seen he hits the gym.
We have seen.
So I'm
So
voting Carlos.
so huge weekend for Carlos. Obviously, he
Obviously.
did win.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the ending in which he said, "Tell Charles to get closer to me so that we can celebrate this one together"?
That was so you and me.
Now, when I tell you that a single tear fell down my cheek, I am not lying. I was so overcome with emotion by that. I was just like, despite it all, him and Charles still best buddies. And then in the post race interview, Carlos goes, "I agree with my two favorite teammates."
Yeah, because
Are
Charles
you
and Lando were
joking?
both like, he deserves this. Like, he's one of the best drivers on the grid. He really deserves this. Both of them were saying that. And he was like, I agree with my two favorite teammates.
No, I love that man. I love him with my whole heart. The sweetest little baby golden retriever, Carlos
I
Sainz.
feel like Carlos is like prom king
Yeah.
of F1. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like everyone likes Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos is everyone's favorite. You know what I mean?
He's taken the place of Danny as everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Because I don't really, as if you guys have been listening to the pod for a while, I feel like you've seen the roller coaster of me defending Danny just kind of go up and down. And as of late, it's been nothing but down
Yeah, it's
because
been a big downhill
apparently there's
trajectory.
rumors that he's been given an ultimatum
A 2-race
that
ultimatum.
if he doesn't get his shit together, he's out. And you know what? I can't even be upset about it. Like, I can't even be upset because what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
It's absolutely mind-blowing, to be honest. And we talked about this at the like right before the season began when we watched Drive to Survive. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, the slander on Yuki, where everyone is just assuming that Yuki is the worst on the team.
Yeah,
And like Nick DeVries coming in and being like, oh, I'm better than Yuki. And then Yuki's outperforming him. And then Danny coming in being like, I'm going to be the best. And then immediately getting hurt. And then Liam Lawson even coming in and being like, I can't believe I don't have a seat, but Yuki has one. Even though the one race I raced in, I was better than him. And I'm just like, I am so sick. I'm so
enough.
sick of the Yuki hate and the Yuki slander by everyone
Enough.
because once again, all of the rumors this season, all of the rumors have been Danny's going to Red Bull. Danny said, I'm just going to get my Red Bull seat back. Don't overlook Yuki. He's been crushing it.
He
And I'm
has been crushing
freaking
it.
pissed. Danny's a
I
bum. Danny's a bum. And I'll say it. Danny's a fucking bum.
and I'll
Can't even
co-sign.
do it.
I'll co-sign on that because they were like, "Oh, he's putting up max numbers. He's putting up max numbers." I'm like, "He's putting up max numbers because he's got no one else on the track with
No one
him."
else on the track, and he has one lap to prove it to you. He's just and
Like,
he spun out. Before he
and
put up a max number, he spun out.
and
Nobody's on the track to push him off.
and you
Sorry.
guys know this. I am a Ricard Ho day one. You guys know this. This is part of my lore. This is part of my origin story. And I can confidently say that, like, I do not think that he deserves a seat in Formula One anymore. Like, he is just, it is so depressing to watch every single week. I am just like, I'm all right. Slowly puts away all of the Ricard Ho merch and pulls out my Carlos Sainz t-shirt.
I'm waving my Sonoda slut flag. I'm waving it.
I'm a
Waving it.
I'm a chili chaser.
I'm like, do you hear the people saying, standing on the top of my battlements with my Sonoda slut flag right on top of the barricades? Do you hear the people singing the song of angry Sonoda sluts?
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Exactly. And I'm right there
So,
with you.
and if
I'm
I swear, if Danny does not pass his 2-race test and
mhm.
Liam Lawson comes in, first of all, I
And
am
says
very
some
excited
silly
about it.
shit.
I'm very excited about Liam Lawson potentially coming on the grid. You all know I talked about this after Drive to Survive. Big fan, loved him. Would love to see him on the grid. If he says one word,
If he says some silly shit about Yuki Tsunoda.
if he comes for my baby,
This is
he's gonna
a
catch these
Yuki
hands.
Tsunoda defense squad.
You're gonna catch these hands. And guess what? A very sharp ring on this hand, and this is the one that's gonna get you.
That's the punching hand. Yeah,
Brass
I
knuckle too. I've
just
got a diamond knuckle. Getcha.
people enough is enough. Enough is enough talking bad about Yuki. Keep Yuki's name out of your mouth.
Keep it out of there.
Stop
Don't
speaking
think
on
about
it.
it.
No one's asking for your opinion on Yuki, especially not Yuki. Yuki is just moving in silence. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I know what I'm bringing to the table, and I know that it's going to be good enough to get me where I want to go. And I love that for him. Danny's out here running his mouth, running his mouth, running his mouth. He's peacocking. And guess where it's getting him? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yuki moving in silence.
Yuki, under the radar king.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I do my talking on the track.
Yeah, he said,
I'll show you.
scoreboard.
Okay.
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard. You can talk your shit, but I'm still gonna get more points than you. Bitch.
He says, you can talk the talk, but I can walk the walk, baby.
Drive the drive. He's driving the drive. You want to know what? He's driving to survive.
He is. And you would think Danny would be driving to survive. You would think that there is a fire under his ass because he's been given another shot.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest mistake he ever made was leaving Red Bull because that was the only good car that he was ever going to have. But here's the thing. I'm like, my guy, bruh, at some point,
level with me.
At some point, it's not the car, it's you.
100%.
And every single team he's been to since Red Bull, he's been like, oh, the car's not as good as I thought. I'm just not as comfortable with the car. I'm not there with the car yet. And I'm like, my guy, I think it's you.
It's you. It's a
Everyone
personal
else
problem.
is fine with the car. Everyone else is fine with it. So, like...
But also at some points, like, stop complaining. Yeah, look in the mirror and just say, it's me. And maybe I need to do something about it.
Time to try something else. I never want to use him as an example. But look at Michael Italiano. F1 clearly wasn't it for him. And what is he doing now? He's the head athletic trainer of an Indian cricket team.
Is he? I've not kept up with him.
I was curious the other day. I was like, I wonder what he's up to. And yeah, he's like the head of athletics at an Indian cricket team. He's having a ball, it looks like.
Good for him.
So, but I'm like, maybe it's time to try something new.
Just focus on
just go to NASCAR already. Like, just go to NASCAR.
Yeah, go to
They
NASCAR.
Are desperate to have you, but they're not gonna be soon if you keep fucking being a bum.
Yeah, you keep showcasing these skills. No one's gonna want you in the motorsport world, babes.
Like, strike while the iron's hot, and NASCAR is like desperate for you. That's
okay.
Advice with Kate.
Danny, if you are interested in chatting more,
you never know who's listening. So if Danny's listening, you gotta hang it up.
Hang it up. Time to call it quits. You had a good run, and I loved you dearly for it.
Crucified for this episode, I think.
You know what? I don't really care because guess what? It's the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts.
Truth hurts.
You know what hurt my soul? You know what hurt my little heart? Max holding hands with P.
Daddy Max.
Daddy Max.
Stepdaddy Max.
The thing is, though, too, like, but when I look at them, I'm like, they feel like siblings to me. Like, they feel like he's an older brother and that's his little sister. Like that's how it feels to me.
He's not the stepdad. He's the dad who stepped up.
Which is so funny because Kenny turned to me and he's like, is that photo of Max wearing a shirt that says, I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad that stepped up, real? And I said, Kenny, no, that's not real. No. I wish it was, but it is not.
Definitely not real.
It's real. It's canon in everyone's minds, but it is not real on this plane of existence.
You know what was real on this plane of existence? Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, Toto Wolff was so real this weekend, and I felt so connected to him on like an emotional level because he said he's like, I want to punch myself on the nose after the double DNF this weekend. I said that is so fair, and that is 100% something that I've said multiple times in my
He's
life.
so real for that. He's so real for that.
I was like, Toto gets it. Toto is one of the girls. For real.
For real, for real.
For real, for real. He's one of the mentally damaged girls. He's part of our
Just like,
club.
just like me.
Just like me, for real. Oh man, all right, let's get into some standings. And everyone listening, you'll be happy to know. I actually did research before this recording so that we would not have to do live research. We can just absolutely tally up the points. So
Let's go.
huge news. You're welcome. So let's start with on track. Probably the one and only time.
Yeah, no, tough weekend for me.
One and only time that I might have crushed on track.
I
I
think
did
you
not
did.
write down these numbers though, so I'm gonna need you to get them.
Okay.
I know that Carlos got 25.
Mm-hmm.
Charles got 19 because he got the fastest lap.
Lando got 15. Oscar got 12. Sergio got 10. Alonso got 8. Lance got 6. Yuki got 4. Nico got 2. And K-Mag got 1.
You might have actually beat me on that one. I don't know.
25, 19, 15 are pretty big numbers.
That's true. Okay, well, you're still winning overall. 147 to 159.
Okay.
So, I don't know if that's for the week. For the week,
it looks like it's total.
Total, so I got 60 and you got 42. So I won technically. All right.
Handshake. Good job.
Off track. So let me bring this up. Feel free to like call things out too if you think I got it wrong.
Okay.
So I didn't see any cold plunge pics.
Nope. I mean, I guess, yeah. Bottas had a lot of naked pictures on the internet this weekend, but I don't know if we want to count that or not.
It's not a cold plunge.
Okay.
That's for our hot races. Non-team fits.
There were a lot of non-team fits.
A lot of them. So I have, let's see, Yuki, Oscar, Bottas, where is he? Alonso, Zhou, K-Mag, Lewis, obviously.
I feel like you could just do Lewis down. Just go ahead and
I
type
know.
Lewis all the way down.
Nico, George, and Pierre. I didn't see anyone else really.
No shot Lando was not.
I didn't see a photo of it.
Let's see.
If you can find one, I will obviously change it.
Okay.
Oh wait, I found one. Lando. Okay, here's the thing though. Lando's wearing quadrant merch. I guess that does technically count as non-team merch. Huh.
Yeah, but that is his own merch then.
Right. Where is he?
He's on your team.
Okay. Well, then also I messed up. So then Ocon and Ricardo both were wearing they were wearing their own merch. That's not a team fit, but then they'll get that point taken away for their own. Okay. WAG attending a race. We've got Rebecca was there.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly was there, and I had Kika, Rebecca, Kelly, and Lily Z. Workout thirst trap. Charles went surfing, and I would say wetsuit counts as
Bottas did the Baywatch situation.
Yeah, he did. He was killing me this weekend.
And he also had the Speedo.
The budgie smuggler.
Yeah, the Speedo situation.
I literally could not handle him.
Lewis went surfing too.
Hot. Anyone on your team?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay.
Everyone was pretty no. No.
No.
I was gonna say there was a shirtless photo of Pierre, but it was Kika when they were at the beach, so that was not during the race weekend.
All right. Wears own merch. Obviously, Danny's a -1. And he was sporting new on Shantae, so keep your eyes out.
Mhm.
Yet another one's coming out. Alex Albon.
Esteban.
Oh, wait. If Albon got a -1, then that means it's a 1. Esteban.
You put in the wrong one, but that's okay.
What?
Esteban's on your team.
I know.
You put the 1 in the thirst trap.
I know, because I didn't put it down. Oh, for thirst trap. Sorry.
That's all I'm saying is if you want to keep it consistent.
And
I think Pierre was also wearing his own merch.
was he?
I feel like someone sent us in the DMs.
Okay. Special helmet. We actually had
Oh my God, there were so many special helmets this
4
weekend.
that I saw. And so Danny had a special helmet.
Lando.
Bottas had a helmet. And Zhou had a helmet that I saw.
Oscar did too.
Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Got it.
No one posted about F1 Academy.
And no one switched teams this week. All right, let's see. For the week, I have 18. You have 12. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
So overall, you are the winner this week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're crushing me off track.
Yeah, I really am. My team is... they know what they're doing.
Oh, yep, that's all right. Bad weekend for me to be wishing Max's downfall and then to have Checo come in like 6th place. So
yeah.
not really great for me.
No, not great for you, but I know you
Great
can
for
come
the
back
sport, not great for me. That's fine.
You can come back from this. I know you can.
I can. We're still early.
And you will.
We're still early.
We really are. So early.
All right, let's talk Red Bull 2025.
We gotta. The rumor mill is spinning. It's spinning, and it's funny because Checo's not even in the running.
No, which is so funny to me. They're like, who's getting that second seat? Not even a peep about Checo.
No,
like,
it's just...
what do you know that we don't know that Checo is not even in contention for that second seat?
Like, yeah, the court of public opinion has administered
removed him. We've removed him from the conversation.
He's been publicly arrested. Was it citizens arrested?
Citizens arrest. Which is so crazy because, like, for all intents and purposes, like, he has not been doing poorly. Like,
No.
He came in second the past 2 races. Like, he just didn't do that well this week, but, like, it's not like he's pulling a Danny.
No, it is so funny. And Danny's in the running for the second seat that people are saying. Like, if I was Checo, I'd be pissed. Like, I'd be like, guys.
What? There is, in some iteration of this universe, somewhere in a parallel universe, there is a chance that Danny gets the Red Bull seat despite him not performing at AlphaTauri.
I know.
And can you imagine? I want to experience what the discourse is if that were to happen. Like, I want to know what the pundits will have to say. I want to know what the social media memes will be. Like, I just want to know.
It's like, I have no words or thoughts because it just feels so crazy. But, like, I know that it could happen. And to be a charismatic white man. Just to be a charismatic white man.
Like, that's literally, that is peak, like, Delulu is the Salulu. Like, if you can dream it, you can do it. Like,
If you can dream it, you can do
if
it.
you
Like,
are a white man who is able to network,
and be
you can
funny
get
and
any
charming.
job you want. Must be nice. Once
Like,
again,
what's
big theme of the pod, must be nice.
must be nice. So, Danny is a potential for that Red Bull seat.
Despite it all.
That's number one. Despite it all, Danny is a potential. Other people have thrown Alonso's name in the ring, and I don't think I like that. I
Either.
don't think I see Alonso at Red Bull. I could see Alonso Mercedes.
Same.
I think I could see that. I think Alonso's specialty is like helping teams grow and build. Like, I think he goes to teams and helps them like turn it around. He's like that CEO that comes into like a failing company and is like, my job here is to turn you guys around to either get you bought or acquired or something. And like they just turn them around and then they're like, and now I'm out and I'm gonna go do it again.
Private equity is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So that's Alonso's job, and Red Bull doesn't need that right now. Mercedes does, and so I could see that, but I don't. I also could not see him signing up to be second fiddle to Max.
No, absolutely
No
not.
way. That would be the most toxic team pairing of all time.
But I'd watch.
But I'd watch. So there's that, and then especially after this weekend, people are like, it could be Carlos's seat,
Yeah,
and I really could see it.
I could see it too.
Carlos started his career at Red Bull. Like, I
Or
think,
yeah.
I think like he was a Red Bull driver academy driver. Like, I think that it like makes a lot of sense for him. I think he and Max would be a good pairing because I think Carlos is good at like being the team player, but also like he's
He's
still gonna like
competitive. Yeah.
he's gonna be competitive and he's not gonna just like roll over for a teammate. Like, I think he'll play the game, but he's also going to like play his own game a little bit. So I think I would actually really like that as long as they treated him okay.
I would think about being mean to Carlos.
We've heard from Christian Horner that they really wanted Lando for a while, but Lando re-signed a multi-year contract with McLaren, so I don't think that would happen. I almost feel like that second Red Bull seat might be Carlos's to lose right now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he probably has almost like dibs on it and he gets to refuse it if he wants to. So
I feel confident about that
yeah.
because it feels right. And I think that he still has so much to give. And I think like you put him in a good car, like he outperforms the Ferrari. Like even when the Ferrari is bad, like he still regularly does pretty good. So I'd
Mhm.
love to see him in an actual
Yeah.
functioning car
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
see what he can actually do with it.
The other person that wants a seat is Yuki.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I love that journey for Yuki. I think that he would deserve it. Like, I think that he's good enough. I think he's this is fourth season. So he's
Mhm.
like no longer a new driver. He's not
Yeah.
a rookie driver. He's cut his teeth at AlphaTauri, RB, whatever we want to call it. And I think that he's been there long enough and he's proven himself and he's constantly getting better. Helmut Marko even said he had like a phenomenal showing this weekend. So like he's getting some praise and he's really getting there, but I don't necessarily think staying with the Red Bull family is right for him.
I agree. I imagine that if he goes to Red Bull, I just feel like it's going to be a similar situation to like Pierre and Alex.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're gonna cut him too early and like it's just not gonna be good for
Yeah.
him. And I think that Yuki does have a lot of potential to be a really good driver.
Yeah.
And I think that going to Red Bull is going to diminish his ability to succeed in the sport.
100%. Like, I would like to see him at something like an Aston Martin.
Mhm.
Like a team that has money, is not necessarily connected to another team, but has money and is willing to like invest in its cars and its drivers. Like, they're
Yeah.
obviously not having the best season this year, but like I think that they are going to be able to. I mean, if Lawrence Stroll has anything to say about it, they're going to be turning that right around. So like, I'd love to see him take a step up.
Yeah.
but I don't know if Red Bull is the place for him yet.
Agreed.
So I don't know. I don't know where else I would like to see him, but maybe a McLaren at some point I would like to see. I think that
Yeah.
could be a good spot
I
for
just
him.
don't imagine the Oscar Lando pairing is going
No,
to be done
no,
anytime soon.
no, definitely not. But just for the love of God, don't let him near Alpine. Don't let anyone near Alpine.
So sorry,
Cyril is
Alpine.
rolling over in his metaphorical grave to see where Alpine is right now. You guys, he's like, you guys kicked me out for what? For what?
Or he's cackling because he's been putting pins in his little Alpine Formula 1 car voodoo doll.
I
And
hope
he's like,
so.
ha ha.
He deserves to do that. He deserves that.
He does.
I hope
He
he
said,
is
you'll
voodooing
you'll
them.
rue the day. You'll rue the
Don't
day
rue
that you
the
fired
day.
me.
I'm
Him,
voodooing the shit out of you.
he said Danny left me. He probably has a Danny voodoo doll as well.
I
That's why
hope he
Danny's
does.
been so bad, because he's like, Danny left me and I'm preying on his downfall.
We gotta get Cyril on the podcast, talk about his wit tendencies.
Yeah,
Are you a
okay.
warlock, sir? I need to
What are
know.
your manifesting powers? Because anyone who's ever did you dirty is
Kind of
they
failing
are
right now.
downfalling
Also,
right
he had such beef with Crimson,
now. Mhm.
and now
So
look.
true.
And now
So
look.
true.
He's
Look at
by
us.
talk about walking in silence, moving in silence.
He said, you won't
Cyril
he said
moving in silence.
he said, you'll hear from me. You'll know when you hear from
You'll
me.
know. Oh, you'll
Because
know.
it will be at your downfall. You know those memes where it's like, showing up to my wedding and you're in like sweatpants, and then it's like showing up to the downfall of my enemy and you're like in a
Mhm.
tuxedo? Like, that's Cyril. He's just like sitting at home,
Yeah.
absolutely raking in the retribution.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that for him. He deserves that.
Go Cyril.
You go, girl.
Okay.
The
One thing I've
talk of
been
the town.
one thing
The hottest story on the block
I
this
need to
week.
discuss. Chicken
Chicken
chop
chop
day.
date. It was so good.
It was so good, and it was so funny because even in, like, the office this morning, people were like, "Oh, did you watch, like, the chicken chop date? Like, that guy, like, he's a Formula 1 driver," and I'm like, "Of course I saw it.
Of
Of
course,
course
I
I
was
saw
counting
it."
down for the premiere.
I literally was like, "When does this air? I need to
Literally.
watch it." I was, like, giggling the whole time, like, laying on my stomach, like, kicking my feet.
It
And
was
so
really good.
some people were in our DMs like, "Oh, like, it feels crazy that Lando's, like, doing this," and I'm like, "Really?" Like, he is quite the little flirt. I feel like he's in the prime.
Yeah.
He may not, like, seem like it, but I know that he is gonna be, like, a cute little partner. Like, he's either gonna be, like, really
Yeah.
shy or he's gonna have some heaters. Either way,
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat it up.
When she was like, "Are you romantic?" And he was like, "When I have to be." And I
When
was
I
like,
need to be.
like, he was, like, kind of shy. It was
Mhm.
just oh my god, it was so cute. And do you see they're, like, in each other's comments, and she, like, commented on his Instagram, was like, "My guy," and he was like, "My boo heart." Like, I'm obsessed with it.
I love it
I
so
will say
much.
the one downside to Chicken Shop Date was
It's
that I was
never
like
long enough.
that, and also I was like, "Amelia,
What are you wearing?
what are you wearing? You get a chance to go on a chicken shop date with Lando Norris, and this is what you're wearing?"
I know.
She looked like a little baby chicken being birthed.
I know. It was like the weird egg crack, and then with the red tights, I was
The
like, "You
red
look."
tights and the red shoes, I was like, "Are we a chicken?
Yeah,
Are
you're
we
taking this too
hatching?"
literally.
I did not like it.
It wasn't really for me. Maybe Lando liked it though. I don't know. Maybe she did her research on what Lando
What he likes.
likes.
I could never see Louisa in that. Let
But
me
it
tell
was
ya.
cracking me up when she goes, "Oh, how fast do you go?" And then she's like listing speeds, and then she's like 300, and he's like, "Not that fast." And she goes, "Disappointing. I thought you'd go faster than that." And he goes, "I'm working on it."
And
And
she goes,
then
"Yeah,
when
maybe
he
if you were going that fast, you would have won by
and
now."
then he podiumed, and she put on her story, and she's like, "PSA to anyone, out there, all this athletes, like, if you come on Chicken Shop Date, you will be better.
Like, it was
There was
so
also
good.
a moment where she was talking and she goes, yeah, it'd be hotter if I was in there. And then he did like this lip bite. And I was like, Lando, enough. Enough. And it was
Enough.
the Capri Sun of it all. And then people were like upset because they were like, Amelia was like, oh, like, what kind of girl are you looking for? Like, what's your type? And Lando goes, oh, I want someone to take care of me. That is the most like Lando response. Like, I am
Yeah.
not surprised by that.
No.
And people are like, oh, Lando girls, you can keep him. And you know what? Here's the thing. He is the youngest boy in the family.
Yeah.
He is that baby boy, okay?
Yeah.
He has no responsibilities. He
None.
has nothing to worry about, okay? And he has been good at karting for a very long time, and so his only responsibility in life has been to play video games and race cars. That man doesn't know how to do a chore to save his life, okay?
Definitely not.
Just Max doesn't either. He says his mom does his laundry all the time. So I just feel like you know what you're getting into. And we've talked about this
Yeah.
with Lewis too. I feel like these kids are like such child stars that
Yes.
they are stunted. Like
Yeah.
they do not feel like fully grown adults, and you have to know that that's what you're getting into.
Yeah. As if Danny's taking care of
Yeah.
Heidi.
Yeah,
As
as
if
if
Danny's
taking
Heidi
care of
is
anyone.
10 years younger than him, absolutely running his schedule, guaranteed. That's why we don't see her at the races. She's home doing his laundry and shit. She's like, I
Like,
gotta take care of my man child, my
literally. And you
adult
know what
baby.
though? You know what though? I put in the comments and I said, with his salary, I'd
I do it
probably take
too.
care of him. I'd probably take care of him. You know what? If I get to travel internationally and I get to do fun shit, like, you know what?
So what's a load of laundry?
I'm already doing my own. I might as well throw in an extra. It's
Sometimes I'm
fine.
like, traditional gender roles might not be that
Might
bad.
not be that bad. I just was like, you know what? I'll take care of you physically and emotionally. Like, and you know what? I don't think it's unreasonable for him to ask for someone to take care of him. Like,
No, I don't
I
think
also
either.
want someone to take care of me. I
Right.
can take care of myself, but it would be nice if every once in a while someone took care of me.
Yeah. A true relationship and a true partnership is taking care of each other.
Exactly.
So,
He was just like, oh, I don't want to have to do all the work all the time. And you know
but
what?
also, she didn't say what kind of boyfriend are you, and then he could have said, I take care of
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend. She said, what kind of girl are you looking for? And he said, one
Yeah.
to take care of me. So
Yeah.
it was not a mutually exclusive statement.
Yeah, guys. Your guys are and you know what? Here's the thing too, is I'm like, girl, I know you filmed for an hour and this is all you're giving us.
Yeah.
I
Fake.
need more.
Fake.
Release the tapes.
Release the tapes.
Where are One Direction girlies who hacked into the airport security camera?
Where
Please
are
hack
you
into the
now?
chicken shop date files and release the whole
1D
thing.
stalkers, where are they now?
I know you're in the fandom. I know that you're here. I know that to be true. Get to work.
Get to work. Traditional gender roles out the door. You're getting to work.
Okay, you know who else was getting to work?
Who?
Zhou.
You better work. Work it, girl. Come on, girl. On the runway. Yeah.
He was
That GQ
serving.
cover,
Your Honor, he was serving.
serving. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner he was serving.
And
And 2 balanced snacks throughout the day.
I love it, just felt so silly and light, and like I just was like, I really
It
appreciate
was
his
just so
ability to have fun with
youthful
it.
and
Yes.
joyful and happy, and I was like, you can tell he's having fun, and he's feeling silly, and he's feeling comfortable and, like, authentic in his clothes. I was living.
I was living every single one. I said another one, another one,
Another one,
another
another
one.
one.
It
It's
was
every
so
single one was better than the last.
I was just like so proud of him because I think, we talked about this a little bit years ago when they did the Vanity Fair shoot with like George and Esteban and Lando, where we were like, this, a lot of people in the fandom were like, these photos are absurd. these are like, why would they put them in these outfits? But you know what? That is high fashion. Like, that's what the fashion industry is. Like, that's what fashion magazines are.
Yeah.
And, I think for better, not for worse, a lot of the drivers do kind of stray towards more traditional masculine gender roles
Mm-hmm.
and are probably pretty uncomfortable in being put in those types of situations and being
Yeah.
perceived by their male fans as like, anything but this like macho man. And so to see Zhou just like fully embrace it right out was like so special.
Ugh, he is just the best.
I
And
love him so much. I'm so glad that we have him on the grid.
me too. I always want him to be happy.
Yeah.
And I always want him to feel comfortable and confident being himself and dressing the way he wants, because it brings me a lot of joy to see.
I
So,
love it. I love
Joe,
it.
you're
I love it.
doing
I love it.
amazing,
Keep
sweetie.
keep up the good work, Joe.
Keep up the good work. All right, let's get into a little bit of F1 Academy. Not a race weekend, so we don't have too much to talk about, but the big news
Important
from
update.
F1 Academy this week is Susie Wolff. You may remember that in December of last year, uh, Susie Wolff, who is the boss of F1 Academy, and the wife of Toto Wolff, she and Toto were both investigated over accusations of alleged conflict of interest when Susie took on the role of director of F1 Academy. And they said because she's married to Toto, and
Mhm.
Toto and like Mercedes is going to have a car in F1 Academy, like there must be a conflict of interest. And she
They're
had come out at the time,
collusion.
yeah, and she had come out at the time being like, this is just extremely misogynistic, and
Yeah.
nobody is admitting to having filed a complaint or anything.
Mhm.
And then like they immediately were like, yeah, actually, just kidding, we're not. Our report, our findings are that there was none, nothing wrong. So keep on going. And it was just like super kind of fake. But now she's launched legal action against the FIA for
As
that,
she should.
as she
As
should,
is her right.
as is her right. And she was basically like, there was no transparency, and it was, that's not chill. And so she is launching a complaint, and I'm so proud of her for doing that.
Mhm.
And Lewis has come out in support of her, obviously, because
Obviously.
Lewis is literally the king of all kings. And he said, literally this, I don't know why, it just made me think of that Hallelujah chorus. And they say, King of Kings, do 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 do, and Lord of Lords, do 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 do. Do. Like that's Lewis.
That's
It's
Lewis.
not God. Hallelujah, hallelujah. That I'll be singing that about Lewis Hamilton from now on. So, anyways, he said, I'm incredibly proud of Susie Wolff. I think she's so brave and she stands for such great values. She's such a leader, and in a world where often people are silenced, for her to be standing up sends such a great message. I love that she's taken it out of this F1 world to fight it from the outside, because there's a real lack of accountability here within this sport, within the FIA. There's no transparency. There's clearly no accountability.
Yeah.
Amen, King.
And
Speak
on
on
top of
it.
that, he also said that it's still a male dominated sport and we're living in a time where the message is if you file a complaint, you'll be fired. And that's a terrible narrative to be projecting into the world. And so I just love that
Yes.
he has been an ally so much in the past couple of months, especially with the Christian Horner situation and now Susie Wolff. And when asked if the FIA president has Lewis's support, he goes, he never has. Okay, bitch. He said, no, fuck that. Fuck that shit. I'm out. He said, the
I'm
FIA is
out.
out to get me always, and I don't respect the authority here. And if anyone can relate to that, that's me. That speaks to me deeply.
Nicole
So,
famously hates authority.
hates an authority figure. Don't fucking speak to me.
Hates it.
So, yeah, Lewis is crushing it. Keep up the good work, Lewis. We love you
We love you.
forever and always. And I will physically fight anyone who says otherwise.
Me and you. If anyone says anything about Lewis or Yuki,
We're punching. I've
etching
been
his
I've been itching for a fight. So, you know what? Give me a reason.
Give me one reason.
You're gonna have to hold me back.
It's like every like morally gray hero in a movie, and he's like, "Give me a reason. Give me a reason." And you're like, "He's spoiling for a
Who
fight."
did this to you? That's you and me to Lewis and Yuki.
Yeah, literally. All right, let's wrap
Where's
it
my
up.
wife? All right, we have a manifest minute this week coming from Christy. Christy slid into the DMs earlier this week and asked for a manifest minute. Christy has been in a dead-end job since COVID that she hates, and she's been looking for about 8 months and has not been able to find a new job. She just read her dream job posting and immediately put together her application. It's exactly what she wants to do, and she's so qualified for it.
Okay,
So she is asking for the power of TG1F community to be able to secure her dream job and leave this dead end job. So if everyone could take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And really, I think we've all been in some sort of position like this before. You have been in a job that you don't really love, and you're looking for your next thing. You know that you are super qualified for this job you come across. You know that you would bring your all every single day, be so excited to contribute to, a wonderful company, a wonderful team, and really build something special for the world. And there's no greater fear than really tweaking your application, writing that cover letter, making sure your resume is perfect, looking at it over and over again to make sure that it's kind of final and you feel really proud of it, and hitting send, and then just waiting. You've sent it out into the ether and you really have no control over it at this point. But the thing that you can do is really just know that you've done the best that you can at that point in time. You've spent time making sure that it's perfect. You've spent time researching the company, making sure that you're talking about the things that they care about, and you've built up your career to know that you are skilled and qualified for this.
Amen.
And so I hope everyone kind of takes that energy and that positive feeling of knowing that you've done the best that you can, and really just send it towards Christy this week. So we're going to seal that with our intention. So take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And let's all just go into the rest of this week with some confidence in ourselves and belief that we have created a version of ourselves that we should be proud of, because we worked hard and we know that the right opportunity will be presented to us because we have worked hard to get to it. So Christy, I feel really positive about this job. And, if this one doesn't happen to work out, I know that something good is coming your way soon. And anyone else who is in the same position, just keep trying, keep talking to people. It's not just you. The market is very bad right now. And so don't lose hope. It's not you. Don't let it get to you if you're struggling with this.
Amen.
So that's the tea this weekend.
That's a team.
This week, whatever day it is. And we don't have a race this week, so we'll have another chaotic episode next week. We hope you guys join us for that one. But until then,
we'll see you on the internet.
See you on the internet.
Bye.